Chosen one. You are not here by accident. Heaven has pulled you into this moment with divine precision. The Spirit has stirred your steps because you are standing at the threshold of a supernatural shift, a divine wealth transfer prepared with your name on it. What you're about to hear is not merely information, but impartation. The veil is thinning, the atmosphere is shifting, and the Most High is placing revelation into the hands of His anointed. As Proverbs says, the blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow. Chosen one, open your spirit. Heaven is speaking. Chosen one, before anything else, I want you to understand this: what you have been feeling in your home is not random. It is not coincidence, imagination, or emotional overstimulation. What you have sensed is real, and your spirit has been trying to tell you what your mind could not yet articulate. You've always been spiritually sensitive, even when you didn't know how to explain it, and the unease you have carried lately is not a flaw, it is a signal. There are moments in life when the atmosphere shifts before the evidence appears. You feel a weight long before you see a cause. You sense a presence long before you hear a sound. Your heart grows heavy without a reason you can point to, and your thoughts become clouded, even though nothing dramatic has changed. This is the spiritual world, brushing against the edge of your awareness, whispering to your spirit that something is out of alignment. And, chosen one, you have felt this shift for some time, but instead of trusting what you felt, you tried to explain it away. You blamed exhaustion, stress, overthinking, or the natural ups and downs of life. You tried to push past it, yet every time you tried to dismiss the feeling, it lingered. It returned. It pressed against your spirit as if urging you to pay attention. Heaven was not trying to frighten you. Heaven was waking you up, chosen one. The place you live is not just a physical structure. It is a spiritual container. Your home absorbs everything that enters it: words spoken, emotions carried, intentions hidden, and energies transferred. Some people carry peace, and the moment they walk in, the atmosphere becomes lighter. Others carry turmoil, bitterness, insecurity, or envy, and when they enter, the atmosphere becomes tangled without explanation. Some people enter your home smiling, but their spirit sheds shadows. Some leave physically, but the residue of their presence remains in the air like dust that refuses to settle. You felt this even when you could not name it: the confusion, the restlessness, the sudden irritability, the heaviness when waking up, the sense that something was off, yet nothing obvious had happened. These were all signs, chosen one, signs that a spiritual breach had occurred, signs that someone walked into your home carrying more than their physical body. Someone unknowingly or knowingly left behind a spiritual residue that disrupted your peace. Understand this: not everyone who smiles at you comes in innocence. Not everyone who visits your home arrives empty. Some come carrying burdens they never dealt with. Some bring emotional chaos, and some bring spiritual disturbances they do not understand themselves. But others, though it is difficult to accept, carry intentions that are not pure. Their heart is not at peace, and their spirit carries a heaviness that seeps into the environment. You felt this because your spirit recognized what your senses could not. You felt it because you are spiritually tuned. You felt it because the Most High has marked you with sensitivity that is meant to protect you. Chosen one. Heaven has been watching over your home. Even in moments you felt vulnerable or confused, you were never left unprotected. Angels have stood watch over your space. They have blocked what could have harmed you. They have intervened in ways you may never fully understand. You are not here because danger overwhelmed you. You are here because God prevented what tried to reach you. But the season of silence is ending. The season of hidden things is closing. What operated in the background is being dragged into the light, not to create fear, but to release clarity. When God reveals something, it is not to frighten you. Revelation is always the first step of freedom. Your eyes are being opened because your elevation requires awareness. Your next chapter requires a clean environment. Your spirit is about to receive clarity that your atmosphere was blocking. And so God is showing you what has been interfering with your peace, your direction, and your inner balance. Chosen one, you may soon experience moments of sudden realization, small whispers of truth rising within you. A name may come to your mind. A memory may resurface. A shift in your emotions may sharpen your perception. Pay attention to these moments. They are not overthinking. They are divine alignment. The person who left this spiritual residue in your home may not have intended harm, but intention does not erase influence. Someone entered your space carrying bitterness, jealousy, or inner conflict. Someone carried unresolved energy that clung to your environment. Someone masked their inner turmoil with polite conversation, but left behind invisible weight. And even if they did not speak it out loud, their spirit carried it. Your sensitivity detected it because discernment is one of your greatest spiritual gifts. There is a reason the enemy tries to attack a chosen one through atmosphere. When he cannot reach your destiny, he tries to cloud your mind. When he cannot stop your purpose, he tries to disturb your environment. When he cannot touch your calling, he tries to distract your spirit. But even these attempts have failed because heaven stood in the gap on your behalf. Chosen one. The unease you felt was not the beginning of fear, it was the beginning of revelation. It was God tapping your spirit, saying, "Look closer, pay attention, something here is not right." And now you're awakening to that truth. This season you're walking into will not be marked by confusion, but by clarity. Not by heaviness, but by authority. Not by fear, but by spiritual confidence. Everything that entered your home without heaven's permission is being exposed and removed. Everything that tried to interfere with your peace is losing its grip. Everything that tried to operate in the shadows is being stripped of its power. You are stepping into truth, chosen one, and truth always leads to freedom. Chosen one. There is a reason your spirit has been unsettled even when your surroundings looked calm. There is a reason your emotions have felt stretched in opposite directions, why your thoughts sometimes felt clouded without explanation, why the atmosphere of your home felt different even though nothing visibly changed. You have been living through a spiritual breach, a subtle intrusion that touched the atmosphere before it ever touched your physical world. And now, heaven is choosing to reveal it to you, not to overwhelm you, but to empower you. You have always been spiritually sensitive, even when you doubted that gift. From the time you were young, you noticed things others overlooked. You felt shifts in the room, sensed intentions behind words, and recognized danger without needing evidence. Many people called it imagination. Some dismissed it as overthinking. But what you carried was discernment, a spiritual antenna that heaven wired directly into your soul. That gift is now waking up with greater strength because the season you are stepping into requires sharper clarity and deeper awareness. Chosen one. What happened in your home did not begin recently. It formed quietly, slowly, through subtle access points you did not realize were open. Sometimes it happens when someone steps into your space carrying emotional residue, unspoken jealousy, or hidden irritation. They may smile, but their heart is conflicted. They may talk gently, but their intention is not clean. When a person like that enters a home, they can leave behind spiritual dust, the kind that lingers even when the person leaves. It begins as a shift in the atmosphere, a heaviness, an unusual tension. And because you are spiritually receptive, you picked up the signal immediately, even if you could not explain it. The uneasiness you felt was not a mistake. It was not weakness. It was a warning. Heaven was gently tapping your spirit, trying to help you recognize that something in your environment had changed. You may have tried to convince yourself it was nothing. You may have rationalized it as stress, tiredness, or a passing emotion. But heaven does not alert you without purpose. Every whisper, every discomfort, every stirring inside you had meaning. And while this presence worked in subtle ways, your protection was never removed. You were shielded even when you felt vulnerable. You were guarded even when you felt alone. The Most High preserved your peace, blocking what could have harmed you. There are battles that never touched you because angels intervened long before the attack reached your doorstep. You may never know the full extent of what heaven shielded you from, but you were kept through it all. Chosen one now is the moment heaven begins to reveal what has been hidden. Revelations rarely arrive loudly. They come softly, like a realization that suddenly makes sense, like a moment of clarity that connects the dots. You will begin to understand why certain emotions felt heavier than usual, why your thoughts were interrupted, why you felt tired at strange times, why your focus seemed under pressure. These were not random experiences. Something was operating behind the veil, and now that veil is being lifted. As the truth unfolds, do not doubt what your spirit confirms. Discernment is heaven's language, and you have been hearing it long before you trusted it. When something inside you knows, pay attention. When you sense that a person carried more than what they showed, trust that inner voice. It is not paranoia. It is not fear. It is spiritual intelligence. There is someone connected to you who was granted access into your space emotionally, physically, or spiritually, and they used that access lightly, carelessly, or with intentions not aligned with peace. They may not have fully understood the harm they carried. Some people move through life without cleansing their own bitterness, envy, or confusion, and they bring that residue everywhere they go. Others hide behind politeness while nurturing hidden conflict. And though their hands appeared empty, their presence planted seeds your spirit immediately sensed. But hear this clearly, their influence stops now. What was allowed to linger can no longer remain. What tried to disrupt your clarity will be exposed. What attempted to cloud your thoughts will be lifted. You are entering a season of spiritual alignment, and anything that contradicts your purpose cannot stay. Chosen one. This exposure is not punishment. It is preparation. Heaven is preparing your environment for elevation. Your home is not just a physical space. It is spiritual soil. It is the container for your next level, your next assignment, your next breakthrough. Anything that contaminates that atmosphere threatens what heaven is trying to build through you. This moment marks the shift from confusion to clarity, from spiritual interruption to spiritual authority. You will begin to see, hear, and feel differently. Your discernment will sharpen, your awareness will heighten, and the truth will no longer hide in shadows. You are stepping into freedom, not fear. You are stepping into revelation, not chaos. This is the moment you begin to reclaim your atmosphere and command it back into divine order. Chosen one. When the Spirit begins to reveal what has lingered in the shadows, it is never to frighten you but to sharpen you. You are stepping into a moment where heaven is pulling back layers you did not even know existed. And as this unveiling takes place, you may feel waves of emotion, sudden clarity, or even a quiet stillness settling over your spirit. These are not random shifts. They are signs that your discernment is aligning with heaven's perspective. The Most High is training your inner vision, helping you see beyond what the natural eye can capture. You have always been spiritually perceptive, even when life tried to convince you otherwise. There were seasons when people dismissed your sensitivity, calling it overreaction or imagination. There were moments when you second-guessed your intuition because you wanted to give others the benefit of the doubt. But let me tell you something from my own journey. The gift of discernment often matures through misunderstanding. People who do not carry this gift cannot recognize its depth, and those who fear what they cannot see will always try to silence what they do not understand. Anointed One. God has been strengthening your spiritual sensitivity for a reason. You are not walking into an ordinary season. You are stepping into a higher dimension of purpose, authority, and influence. What is ahead of you requires an atmosphere that supports your clarity, not one that drains it. The enemy's tactic has always been the same: to plant confusion, create emotional weight, or manipulate atmosphere in subtle ways. Not through loud attacks, but through quiet distractions. But even those attempts have failed because heaven intercepted every dart aimed at your spirit. There have been moments in your home when you felt the spiritual weight shift without warning. You may not have had the words to describe it, but your spirit recognized it instantly. A sudden heaviness when entering a certain room, a strange thought that was not yours, a quiet tension that made no sense in the moment. These signs were heaven's invitation for you to pay attention, not to fear, but to observe, not to panic, but to discern. Chosen One. The presence that slipped into your atmosphere was never permitted to stay. It tried to blend into the silence, to hide behind normalcy, to operate in subtle ways. But the Lord who watches over you does not sleep. He does not overlook what rests near your spirit. You have been guarded on every side, even when it felt like no one understood what you were sensing. This is why confusion did not take root. This is why exhaustion did not break you. This is why emotional weight never crushed you. Heaven held you upright in moments you could not explain. But now the Most High is revealing not only the presence, but the source. This is the part that many people struggle with, yet it is necessary for your elevation. The person connected to the spiritual disruption may not have realized the influence they carried. Some people walk around with unhealed anger, hidden jealousy, unresolved pain, or spiritual residue they never confronted. And when they enter your home, they bring more than their physical body. They bring their atmosphere. Others, however, know exactly what they carry. They move with divided intentions. Their words sound polite, but their spirit is misaligned. They smile, but their heart carries conflict. They come close, but their motives are tangled. These individuals leave behind more than footprints. They leave echoes. Anointed One. Heaven is showing you these things because clarity is a requirement for where you are going. You cannot build your next season on contaminated foundation. You cannot embrace your next breakthrough in an atmosphere that confuses your spirit. You cannot hear divine instructions clearly when lingering residue interferes with your peace. This exposure is protection. It is preparation. It is heaven rearranging your environment so that your spirit can rise without resistance. There will be moments when the truth hits you quietly, almost suddenly. A realization that aligns everything. a thought that feels too sharp to be your own, a moment of understanding that causes you to step back and rethink past experiences. These are not coincidences. They are spiritual alignments. They are the voice of God guiding you gently into awareness. You may even notice people begin to distance themselves without explanation. Do not mourn these shifts. They are exits orchestrated by heaven. When someone's presence is no longer aligned with your spiritual growth, God redirects them before they can interfere with what He is building in you. What feels like loss is actually protection disguised as separation. Chosen one, do not let doubt cloud what your spirit knows. Do not allow the opinions of others to silence your discernment. The unease you felt was real. The shift you sensed was valid. Heaven has been speaking to you for a long time, and now the voice of revelation is growing louder. You are being prepared not just to identify what does not belong, but to remove it with authority. This is the beginning of cleansing your environment, reclaiming your peace, and taking back the spiritual territory that was disrupted. What is ahead requires a clear atmosphere, a protected spirit, and a home aligned with heaven. God is getting you ready for something greater than you have imagined. Chosen one. When heaven begins to cleanse your atmosphere, everything that once hid in silence starts losing its grip. What you are stepping into now is not simply a moment of awareness, but a moment of spiritual transition. The fog that once clouded your spirit is thinning, and clarity is beginning to settle where confusion used to live. This is the season where your spirit awakens, your senses sharpen, and your awareness deepens in ways you may have never experienced before. For a long time, you have walked through your home with a quiet question lingering in your heart. You felt something shifting, something unsettled, something that did not match your prayers or your peace. You did not have evidence, but you had intuition. You did not have explanation, but you had conviction. And though you tried to ignore it, the weight you felt was persistent. That was not imagination. That was discernment growing stronger, trying to guide you into truth. When the Lord began stirring your spirit, He was not trying to overwhelm you. He was preparing you. You were never meant to accept heaviness as normal. You were never meant to carry emotional residue that did not belong to you. You were never meant to live in an atmosphere that drains you more than it strengthens you. Heaven allows discomfort only when it leads you toward liberation. There have been seasons in my own life when I felt the atmosphere around me shift without seeing any visible change. I remember walking into certain rooms and feeling my spirit tighten, feeling my thoughts become scattered, feeling a quiet unease fill the air. At the time, I questioned myself. I tried to rationalize it. But with time, I learned that the spirit senses danger long before the natural mind recognizes it. And every chosen one experiences this at some point. Your discernment is not a liability. It is a weapon, and God is sharpening it now because your next season requires precision, not passivity. Anointed one. The Lord is revealing what has been operating in your environment, not to frighten you, but to empower you to confront it. There are spiritual influences that thrive in secrecy, but they lose power the moment they are brought into the light. What you have been sensing is the unveiling of something that no longer has permission to remain in your atmosphere. God is lifting the veil and showing you what your spirit saw long before you could identify it. You may begin to notice sudden clarity in thoughts that used to feel tangled. You may find your peace returning in moments where confusion once dominated. These changes are not accidental. They are signs that God is already breaking the residue left behind by someone who stepped into your life or your home carrying a presence that did not belong. Not every person who visits you comes with innocence in their heart. Some bring burdens, some bring chaos, some bring jealousy or unspoken resentment, and some bring spiritual influences they never confronted themselves. This is not about fear, it is about awareness. God is showing you the origin of the heaviness you felt. He is helping you understand that what dragged your spirit down was never yours to carry. You are entering a season where He is calling you to reclaim your authority. You cannot walk into your destiny weighed down by someone else's shadows. There may come a moment soon when you suddenly realize who the person was that carried this influence, not through paranoia, but through spiritual clarity. A name might rise in your spirit. A memory may return. A moment from the past may suddenly make sense. Do not ignore these signals. The Lord brings these revelations gently because He knows the weight of truth requires softness. Anointed one. The person connected to this spiritual disruption was granted access that they did not steward well. They may have carried unresolved bitterness, unspoken jealousy, or spiritual instability. Even if their smile seemed sincere, their spirit was unsettled, and that unsettled presence lingered after they left. Some people do not understand the influence they bring. Others know exactly what they carry. But regardless of intent, heaven has decided that their impact on your life must end. Remember this: when God begins to distance you from someone, it is never rejection. It is protection. It is heaven securing your next season before you enter it. You may notice certain people begin to pull away. Conversations grow shallow. Invitations disappear. Interactions feel strained. This is not accident. It is divine separation. Chosen one. The Lord is calling you to rise in authority, to take back ownership of your atmosphere, to reclaim the spiritual territory of your home. You were never created to simply survive your environment. You were created to govern it. You carry spiritual influence, not spiritual vulnerability. And whatever has lingered in your space is being uprooted now, because heaven will not allow anything to hinder what is coming next. God is making your home a sanctuary again, a place of peace, clarity, and divine alignment. And this cleansing is preparing you for the breakthrough ahead. Chosen one. Now that heaven has begun to expose what was hidden, you are entering a season where understanding replaces confusion and authority replaces hesitation. This is the moment where clarity becomes your companion, where your spirit begins to interpret what your heart has felt for so long. Everything you sensed but could not articulate is now coming into alignment, and the pieces that once felt scattered are forming a larger picture meant for your protection and elevation. There is a spiritual truth that many overlook. Your home is more than a place to sleep. It is a spiritual chamber. It absorbs the energy of those who walk through it. It carries the residue of conversations, the vibrations of intentions, and the imprints of decisions made within its walls. When someone enters your home, they bring more than their presence. They bring their spiritual climate. Some carry peace, others carry chaos. Some carry love, others carry exhaustion or envy or bitterness. And without knowing it, you may have allowed someone into your home who carried an atmosphere that did not belong near your destiny. This is not your fault, anointed one. The pure-hearted often open their doors to people they should have kept at a distance. The trusting often extend hospitality to those who come with disguised motives. You welcome someone with sincerity, but they arrived with hidden weight. Their presence left a mark. maybe not physically but spiritually. You felt it. You noticed the shift in the air. You noticed how your clarity dimmed after certain visits. You noticed how prayers felt heavier, how rest felt disrupted, how your spirit felt unsettled for reasons you could not name. But understand this, the unease was a divine alert. Heaven was whispering to you. The Most High never allows a chosen one to remain blind to what threatens their peace. Your spirit picked up what your mind was not yet ready to comprehend. This is the gift of discernment. And now that gift is maturing. As you move through this season, you will start to recognize the subtle patterns. You will notice how certain interactions drained you rather than strengthened you. You will recall moments when joy seemed to evaporate after a particular conversation. You will begin to see how your spirit reacted around this individual long before your thoughts could translate the discomfort. It was never random. It was spiritual. Chosen. There is someone whose influence crept into your environment, not necessarily through direct harm, but through emotional residue and spiritual instability. They carried something unresolved within themselves, and that weight settled into the corners of your home. You might remember days when you woke up feeling heavy without a clear explanation, or evenings when your mind felt foggy, even though you had no reason to be troubled. That presence disrupted the natural flow of peace in your life, but the Lord has stepped in to break that disruption. This is why you are gaining clarity now. This is why the veil is lifting. When heaven prepares you for elevation, it exposes anything capable of weakening your foundation. You cannot step into your next season carrying the residue of someone else's spiritual chaos. You cannot rise into your next assignment with someone else's shadow lingering over your spirit. And so God reveals what must be removed. Do not be surprised if you suddenly outgrow certain connections. Do not be surprised if you begin to see the truth behind people's intentions more clearly. Heaven is adjusting your spiritual vision. You will begin to discern motives, sense emotional shifts, and recognize hidden tension in others that you once overlooked. This is not cynicism, it is spiritual maturity. You may also start to feel the urge to cleanse your space, not just physically, but spiritually. You may be drawn to rearrange rooms, open windows, remove certain objects, change your environment in ways you cannot logically explain. This is your spirit cooperating with heaven's cleansing. What once felt comfortable may suddenly feel out of place. What once blended into your environment may now stand out with unusual heaviness. Pay attention to these nudges. They are instructions from within. Chosen. One God is not only exposing what entered your home, He is restoring your peace. You will begin to feel your mind lighten. Your thoughts will flow again. Prayers that once felt obstructed will rise easily. Your sleep will deepen. Your emotional balance will return. This is a sign that spiritual residue is being lifted. This is a sign that angels are doing the work you cannot see. This is a sign that heaven has reclaimed your space. And do not overlook this truth. You are being prepared for something greater. The enemy attacked your environment because he could not touch your destiny. When he cannot reach your calling directly, he tries to disrupt your atmosphere. But even that attempt has failed. God has allowed this season not to break you, but to build you, to sharpen your discernment, to strengthen your authority, to prepare your home as the birthplace of your next breakthrough. What is coming requires a clean space, a stable spirit, and a protected environment. And heaven is ensuring that you have all three. You are being positioned for clarity, for elevation, and for divine alignment. What tried to enter your home will no longer have access. What tried to blur your peace will be removed. What tried to interfere with your purpose will lose its influence completely. Your atmosphere is being restored, your spirit is being strengthened, and your home is being reset for what God is about to release into your life. Chosen one, as heaven continues cleansing your environment and restoring your peace, something else is beginning to happen within you. A quiet strength is rising. Your spiritual posture is shifting. You are no longer the version of yourself who second-guessed your intuition, tolerated emotional heaviness, or dismissed the warnings in your spirit. You are becoming someone who sees with clarity, decides with conviction, and moves with spiritual authority. This transformation is not accidental. It is the result of heaven preparing you for a new assignment, a new level of spiritual maturity, and a new era of personal protection. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when God says enough. Enough confusion, enough interference, enough hidden influence, enough spiritual weight that does not belong to you. This moment arrives not with drama, but with revelation. You start noticing things you used to overlook. You start questioning things you once accepted. You begin to recognize the difference between peace and pretense, between genuine connection and disguised intention. That shift you are feeling is part of your elevation. Anointed one, you are stepping into a season where God is teaching you how to guard your atmosphere with intention. Every room you enter carries evidence of the spiritual world that surrounds you. Your home is sensitive to your growth, and anything that contradicts your calling must be removed. You may feel the urge to create new routines, to pray in certain corners of your home, to sit quietly and listen, or to walk through your space with a renewed awareness. These instincts are not random. They are spiritual instructions rising from within you. You may even begin to reflect on past interactions that now make more sense. A comment that once felt harmless now feels revealing. A conversation that once seemed innocent now carries a heaviness you can finally name. This is how discernment matures. God is allowing you to see the spiritual roots behind emotional experiences, not to create suspicion, but to create awareness. Awareness brings protection. Protection brings peace. Chosen one, you are realizing that not every voice deserves access to your spirit. Not every presence deserves access to your home. Not every relationship deserves access to your inner world. God is teaching you how to separate what uplifts your spirit from what drains it. There is nothing wrong with outgrowing people who cannot grow with you. There is nothing wrong with stepping back from connections that interfere with your clarity. There is nothing wrong with guarding your sanctuary. You are not being cold, you are being called. This separation is part of your spiritual growth. When God elevates someone, He first isolates their atmosphere. He creates space for clarity. He removes noise. He filters intentions. He exposes what cannot continue into the next season. You may feel the shift happening in your relationships, in your habits, in your emotional world. It may feel unfamiliar, but it is necessary. Heaven is preparing you to carry something significant, and you cannot carry it in a cluttered environment. Anointed one, as this cleansing continues, you will begin to notice a deep peace settling into your spirit. Not the temporary peace that comes from external comfort, but the lasting peace that comes from divine alignment. Your sleep will improve, your thoughts will stabilize, your emotions will settle. The presence of God will become more recognizable in your home. This peace is a sign that heaven has reclaimed your space. Everything you are experiencing now is leading you toward a deeper awareness of your authority. You are learning that you are not at the mercy of the atmosphere. You shape it, You influence it. You purify it through prayer intention and spiritual awareness. You are not weak, chosen one. You are awakening. You are stepping into a higher level of spiritual responsibility, and with it comes a higher level of protection. Your home will reflect this shift. Your spirit will reflect this shift. Your life will reflect this shift. God has begun a cleansing that will not stop until everything in your environment aligns with your destiny. Chosen one. As this spiritual cleansing continues, you will begin to notice something powerful. Your authority is returning. A strength you forgot you had is rising again. The heaviness that once clouded your discernment is lifting. The confusion that tried to fog your thoughts is breaking apart. What you are feeling now is not just relief. It is restoration. It is your spirit stepping back into its rightful position. For so long you carried weight that did not belong to you. You absorbed atmospheres, emotions, and energies that were never yours to hold. Some of that came from people who stepped into your home, and some came from people you carried in your heart. But now, heaven is reminding you that your spirit was never designed to be a dumping ground for other people's burdens. You were designed to walk in clarity, not confusion, in peace, not disturbance, in authority, not fear. Anointed. One this season is teaching you something you were never taught but always needed to know. Your home must reflect your calling. You cannot walk in spiritual authority outside if your atmosphere inside is out of order. You cannot carry a divine assignment while tolerating an environment that warps your peace. And so God is restructuring your surroundings to match the weight of what He has placed inside you. You may notice yourself becoming more sensitive to energy shifts. You may walk into a room and immediately sense whether the atmosphere is peaceful or disturbed. You may feel drained by conversations you once tolerated. You may crave silence more than noise, truth more than small talk, depth more than shallow connection. This is not a personality change. This is spiritual refinement. Heaven is sharpening your senses so you can recognize what belongs and what does not. Chosen one. There is something else happening within you. You are learning to trust your intuition again. For years you ignored your inner warnings because you did not want to offend anyone or seem judgmental. But now you understand that discernment is not judgment. It is protection. It is heaven's alarm system within you. Every time you felt uneasy around someone, there was a reason. Every time your spirit tightened while your mind tried to stay polite, there was a reason. And now, God is validating every moment you overlooked. As you regain clarity, you will also regain direction. Your home will feel lighter. Your thoughts will move more freely, your emotions will stabilize, and from this stability will come a renewed strength to make decisions, set boundaries, and break patterns that once held you back. You will no longer tolerate what drains you. You will no longer defend what harms you. You will no longer remain silent in situations where your spirit is speaking. Anointed. One, understand this deeply. The cleansing of your atmosphere is not the end of the process. It is the beginning. God is preparing you to carry more. You are entering a season where your spiritual sensitivity will guide you into divine opportunities. You will hear God more clearly. You will notice signs you once ignored. You will move with confidence instead of hesitation. Every step will feel purposeful. This new clarity is the foundation for what heaven is about to release into your life. You're being positioned for expansion, for breakthrough, and for supernatural direction. Everything that once clouded your spirit is being stripped away because you cannot walk into your next chapter carrying yesterday's residue. Chosen one. Take a deep breath. Your atmosphere is changing, your spirit is awakening, and your path is opening. This is the preparation before elevation. Chosen one. As the atmosphere around you shifts into alignment, you are beginning to sense the difference between what was weighing you down and what is now lifting you up. This clarity is not accidental. It is the result of heaven restoring balance to your spirit, repositioning your thoughts, and recalibrating your emotional world. You are not just returning to yourself. You are becoming a stronger, more spiritually attuned version of who you were always meant to be. Anointed One. You may feel a growing desire to simplify your life, declutter your environment, remove old objects, distance yourself from draining connections, or create quiet spaces for prayer. These desires are not random impulses. They are spiritual instincts. They are heaven urging you to prepare room for what is coming next. What lies ahead for you is not a small blessing and not a temporary breakthrough. You are approaching a divine moment where peace, purpose, and direction converge. God is bringing you into a season where your home becomes a sanctuary again, where you feel protected, grounded, and spiritually aware. This is important because your next chapter requires a clear mind and a settled spirit. When God speaks in this season, you will hear him without interference. Chosen one. You might also notice that you are becoming more selective with who you allow into your life. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Not out of bitterness, but out of growth. You are learning that not every presence deserves access to your peace. Not every voice deserves influence over your spirit. And not every person deserves entry into the sacred atmosphere God is establishing around you. This is maturity. This is protection. This is spiritual evolution. As you continue moving forward, you will feel the weight that once lingered in your home finally release. Your spirit will expand into the space that was always meant for you. You will pray with more authority. You will think with more clarity. You will rest with more peace. The disruption that entered your environment is losing its power completely. Heaven has intervened. Your home is being reclaimed. Your spirit is being strengthened. And your next step is being prepared. Anointed. This is the final purification before your elevation. Chosen one, as this message reaches its final movement, understand something deeply. Everything you have walked through in this season has been preparing you for a higher dimension of awareness, authority, and spiritual stability. Nothing you sensed was accidental. Nothing you endured was wasted. Nothing you wrestled with in the quiet hours was ignored by heaven. The patterns, the whispers, the heaviness, the restlessness, all of it was leading you here to this moment of clarity. You are not the same person you were when this journey began. You have grown. You have awakened. You have matured in spirit, and you may not even fully realize how much has changed within you. The version of you standing here now is sharper, stronger, more spiritually attuned, and more aligned with your purpose than ever before. The disturbance that once lived in your atmosphere has been uprooted, and what remains is the emerging strength of a chosen one who has survived spiritual turbulence and come out wiser on the other side. Anointed one. This final part of your journey is about integration. Everything revealed to you was not simply information, it was impartation. Revelation alone is incomplete unless it becomes transformation. And now, God is inviting you to step into the fullness of what you have learned, to carry it with you into the next season of your life, and to govern your atmosphere with new authority. You have seen how easily the spiritual realm interacts with the physical world. You have seen how a person's presence can alter the energy of a room, how unspoken intentions can influence your thoughts, and how spiritual residue can weaken your peace when left unaddressed. These insights are not just warnings, they are preparation. You are being equipped with wisdom that will serve you for the rest of your life. You will never again ignore your spiritual senses. You will never again dismiss what your spirit detects. You will never again tolerate environments or relationships that disturb your peace. This is not hardness. It is discernment. It is wisdom. It is self-protection inspired by heaven. In the days ahead, you will begin to recognize the subtle difference between what belongs in your life and what does not. You will become more aware of how certain people influence you. Some will feel like light, comforting, uplifting, peaceful. Others will feel like static, distracting, unsettling, heavy. Your spirit will tell you the truth long before their actions do, and you will no longer question that inner voice. You will trust it. Chosen one. There is something else you must understand. The cleansing that took place in your home is also happening in your heart. God is not only purifying the atmosphere around you, He is purifying the atmosphere within you. He is removing emotional residue that lingered from past wounds, past relationships, and past disappointments. He is healing places inside you that were clouded by confusion. He is lifting burdens that you carried silently. You are being restored from the inside out. You may feel moments of sudden release, as if something heavy has slipped off your spirit. That is healing. You may feel a quiet peace where chaos once lived. That is alignment. You may wake up one morning with renewed strength and a sense of purpose you cannot explain. That is the hand of God placing you back on the path you were always meant to walk. This transition is not only about protection, it is also about preparation. You are being positioned for something bigger than you have imagined. Your environment needed cleansing because your next season is too important to be contaminated by spiritual interference. You are stepping into a chapter of clarity, elevation, and divine instruction. God is preparing to speak to you more clearly. He is preparing to guide you more directly. He is preparing to open doors that require spiritual maturity to walk through. Anointed one. You must also understand this truth: when God elevates a person, He always adjusts their surroundings. It is impossible to rise while remaining in the same atmosphere that once held you back. That is why certain people faded. That is why certain conversations felt different. That is why the energy around you shifted. Elevation requires separation. Not out of isolation, but out of preservation. Do not mourn the things that God is removing from your path. What you lose in this season is not loss, it is divine pruning. God is making space for what is coming, and what is coming is greater than anything that has left. In the next chapter of your life, you will operate with sharper intuition, stronger boundaries, and deeper spiritual alignment. Your home will feel like a sanctuary again. Your mind will feel clear, your emotions will feel steady, and your purpose will feel reachable in a way it never has before. Chosen one. This is your moment to step into authority, to declare what your home will be, to decide what your spirit will allow, to claim the atmosphere you are meant to live in. The disturbances that once entered your life without permission will not have access again. You've learned too much. You've grown too much. You've awakened too much. You are not the same. You are stronger. You are wiser. You are spiritually established. This final stage is a commissioning, a spiritual sending forth. You are being released into a new level of awareness and responsibility. You are being entrusted with discernment that can guide nations, families, and destinies. You are being prepared to walk in your calling with the confidence of someone who has seen the unseen and understands the weight of the spiritual world. Chosen one, walk forward from this moment, knowing that you are protected, empowered, and divinely guided. Your home is safe, your spirit is strong, your path is clear, and heaven walks with you into everything that comes next. Chosen one, as you cross into this final movement of your journey, I need you to understand something that heaven has been whispering to your spirit for a long time. You were never meant to remain in the environments you have outgrown. You were never meant to stay connected to atmospheres that drain the anointing you carry. Every moment of unease, every shift in the air, every quiet discomfort was not just a warning but a gentle push from God, urging you toward transformation. Your home, your environment, your atmosphere. These things matter more than you realized. They shape your thoughts, influence your rest, and either strengthen or weaken your spiritual clarity. The Most High knew that the next phase of your calling required a purified atmosphere, a protected space, a cleared foundation. And so he allowed this discomfort to awaken you, not to harm you, not to scare you, but to prepare you. There is a pattern in the lives of those who are chosen. Before elevation, there is always purification. Before revelation, there is always exposure. Before advancement, there is always separation. And chosen one, you have been walking through all three at the same time. This is why certain friendships no longer feel the same. This is why certain conversations suddenly feel heavy. This is why the energy of your home demanded your attention. God is calling you higher, and what once lived comfortably in your atmosphere cannot travel with you into the next dimension. You may not have realized it, but the presence you sensed, that weight, that resistance, that subtle darkness only came because you were rising. Darkness never concerns itself with what is stagnant. It only attacks what is ascending. The spiritual disturbance in your home was a confirmation of your calling, not a threat to it. You were being targeted because you are chosen, because you carry light, because your destiny is influential in ways you do not yet fully understand. And yet, through all of this, you remained protected. Heaven never stepped away. The Most High did not allow harm to overtake you. Angels stood watch in your rooms, at your doors, in your dreams, even in your silence. You are here today because their presence blocked what darkness tried to build. You survived the spiritual pressure because the hand of God never lifted from your life. Anointed one. This final part of your cleansing is about reclaiming your authority. You are no longer the person who doubts your intuition or suppresses your spiritual sensitivity. You are stepping into a version of yourself that understands the power of awareness and the necessity of spiritual boundaries. You will no longer welcome energy that disturbs your peace. You will no longer tolerate relationships that disconnect you from your purpose. You will no longer give space in your home to influences that were never meant to enter. Your home is sacred. Your spirit is sacred. Your journey is sacred. And now your boundaries will become sacred too. In the coming weeks, you may feel the urge to reorganize your space, throw away old things, or shift the layout of your rooms. Follow that instinct. It is your spirit cooperating with God's cleansing. You may feel drawn to pray longer, worship more often, or sit in the stillness of your home with new awareness. Honor that instinct. Heaven is filling your atmosphere with fresh clarity. You might even begin noticing how your spirit responds more quickly to changes, how you sense tension in the air sooner, how you become alert when someone's intention does not match their words, how your emotions change when certain people come close. This is not anxiety, it is discernment awakened. You are becoming spiritually fluent, able to interpret the silent language of atmosphere, energy, and presence. Chosen one, you are being shaped into someone who cannot be manipulated, cannot be deceived, and cannot be spiritually invaded. You have seen what atmospheric interference looks like. You have felt the weight of spiritual residue. You have walked through confusion only to arise with clarity. You have endured unrest only to be filled with peace. You have encountered hidden influence only to witness God's revelation. Now it is time to walk forward with confidence. As you step into your next season, your home will carry the evidence of this transformation. You will rest deeper. You will think clearer. You will feel lighter. Conversations will feel different. Your mind will operate at a higher level. Your heart will feel protected. You will recognize the presence of God in your home in ways you previously overlooked. This is how you know the cleansing has settled, the residue has lifted, and the spiritual shift has completed. Your atmosphere is aligned, your spirit is strong, your path is clear. The Most High has completely reset your environment to prepare you for what is coming next. And what is coming, chosen one, is greater clarity, deeper direction, and a new dimension of spiritual authority. You are ready now. Your home is ready now. Your spirit is ready now. This is the final preparation before your elevation. And heaven is standing with you every step of the way. Chosen one, as we come to the end of this sacred message, pause for a moment and feel what is happening around you. The atmosphere has shifted. Your home, your spirit, your very breath are settling into a new alignment. You are not leaving this video the same way you came. Heaven has spoken. Heaven has moved. Heaven has marked this moment in your life. Anointed one, hear this clearly: the divine transfer has already begun. What tried to linger in your atmosphere has been broken. What once pressed against your peace has been removed. You are stepping into your Kairos moment, the exact time ordained for clarity, protection, and supernatural advancement. The covering over your home is strengthening. The anointing over your life is rising. The path ahead of you is opening with divine precision. Walk forward from this moment, knowing you are not vulnerable, you are not exposed, and you are not forgotten. You are chosen. You are guarded. You are spiritually established. The same God who revealed what was hidden will guide you into what is next. Continue to speak life over your home. Continue to guard your atmosphere. Continue to stay aligned with the presence that now rests upon you. If this word touched your spirit, chosen one, share in the comments what you are reclaiming or cleansing in your life this week. Let it be your declaration of faith. And if you desire more prophetic guidance and prayer, feel free to subscribe and stay connected to this flow. Until we meet again, remain faithful, stay sensitive to the Spirit, and walk in the light that now surrounds you. You are covered, you are kept, you are chosen.